My name is Daniel, a 36-year-old man, and the story I'm about to tell you began on a rainy Thursday evening, the kind of night where all you want is quiet, a warm meal, and a little peace. Instead, I walked into my home and found something I never expected. My mother-in-law, Evelyn, standing in our living room with 2 oversized suitcases, a duffel bag, and a stack of neatly folded blankets. For a moment, I honestly thought she was just visiting. Maybe she planned to stay a night or two. But the second I saw my wife Riley's face, tight smile, bright eyes, hands clasped nervously, I knew something was off. Before I could even ask what was going on, Riley stepped forward quickly and said, "So, my mom's going to be living with us." No warning. No discussion. No conversation beforehand. Just a declaration, like she'd already signed a contract and carved it into stone. I blinked at both of them. Living with us? As in, for how long? Evelyn answered before Riley could. "Indefinitely," she said, in a tone that suggested she owned the place. "My apartment lease ended, and moving in here makes the most sense. Family supports family, right?" I glanced at Riley, hoping this was a joke, a misunderstanding, anything other than what it sounded like. But she wasn't joking. She just nodded, avoiding my eyes like a kid caught doing something she knew she shouldn't. "Riley," I said quietly, "can we talk? Privately." But Evelyn stepped forward. "Whatever you need to say, you can say in front of me." I clenched my jaw. "No. I want to talk to my wife alone." We went into the kitchen, and even before I could speak, Riley started explaining in a rushed, shaky voice. "My mom doesn't have anywhere else to go. She didn't tell me until today. She was crying, Daniel. What was I supposed to do? Leave her on the street?" "Of course not," I said. "But you were supposed to talk to me first. This is our home. This affects both of us." Riley lowered her eyes. "I knew you'd say no. That's why I didn't want to bring it up." Hearing that stung. Not because she was wrong. Evelyn and I had never seen eye to eye, but because Riley made a huge decision behind my back. "It's not about saying no," I said. "It's about making the decision together. And let's be honest, your mother doesn't exactly make living easy." That was an understatement. Evelyn had a lifelong habit of treating our marriage like it was a group project she was a supervisor on. Last Christmas she criticized my cooking. At Thanksgiving she rearranged my entire kitchen. And she'd always make passive-aggressive comments like, "Well, Riley could have done better, but at least he's trying." Riley knew all this. She defended me before, but her mother's presence always came with tension. Riley whispered, "Just give me some time to figure this out. Please. She'll only stay until she finds another place." We walked back into the living room, but Evelyn had already started acting like she owned the space. She'd opened one of the suitcases and was draping sweaters over the back of the couch, inspecting picture frames on the wall, and making comments under her breath. "These curtains are too dark. Who chose this coffee table? It's too modern. I suppose I'll take the guest room, though it's a bit small for my needs." I looked at Riley. She gave me a helpless shrug. That first night was only the beginning. Evelyn spent the next morning reorganizing the pantry for efficiency. She cleaned out the fridge and threw away anything she claimed was unhealthy. She even told me, while I was making coffee, that I shouldn't drink so much because it made me jittery and irritable. The irony was amazing. By the third day, I'd reached my limit. When I came home from work, Evelyn had rearranged the living room furniture completely. The couch was against the wrong wall, the TV was angled toward the window glare, and my favorite armchair was pushed into a corner like it was being punished. I finally confronted her. "Evelyn, you can't just change things without asking. This is our home." She lifted an eyebrow. "I'm improving it. You should be thanking me." Riley stepped between us immediately. "Guys, stop. Mom, maybe don't move things around. Daniel, she's still adjusting." "No," I said firmly. "This isn't adjusting. This is taking over." Riley's face fell, but before she could respond, Evelyn chimed in. "He's overreacting. He always does." That was it. I turned to Riley. "We need to set boundaries. Right now." We talked that night, really talked. I explained how disrespected and unimportant I felt. How she'd made a major decision without me. How her mother's behavior was affecting our home. Riley listened this time, really listened, and for the first time since Evelyn's arrival, she looked genuinely apologetic. The next morning, Riley had the conversation I never thought she'd have. She told her mother, kindly but firmly, that she needed to start looking for a new place, immediately. She laid out rules for the meantime. No rearranging, no interfering, no undermining. Evelyn was furious. She blamed me, called the decision ridiculous, and declared she'd be leaving as soon as she found somewhere more welcoming. A week later, she moved out. And for the first time in days, the house felt like ours again. Quiet, peaceful, balanced. Riley apologized again, and we promised no major decisions would ever be made without both of us. It wasn't just about Evelyn. It was about protecting our home, our marriage, and our respect for each other. Sometimes, the biggest storms walk into your living room with 2 suitcases. And the only way to survive them is together.